Hello there, my name is Ben and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be starting a Dear Esther playthrough. I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I will. I actually have some affiliation with the developers of this game, but I'm not going to mention that just yet. So for now, a lot of you may have gauged that already for various reasons, but I have to say something before I begin. I made a mistake, and I don't often make mistakes, or don't often admit to my mistakes at least. I deleted all my videos on the spur of a moment after watching one guy's video, and I didn't take into account the feelings of my entire subscriber base. You know, I don't like it when one of you isn't happy, but I know next time to kind of limit myself emotionally to make sure that I involve everyone in my decision, so I apologise for that. That was a genuine mistake, and I'll be carrying on with like Penumbra the Black Plague, and I'll be doing Amnesia playthroughs on my channel. As if you want that still, then let me know, and I'll develop the other channels to better fit the kind of other subscribers' viewpoint. Anyway, Dear Esther, she got it today. It's the day of release, so let's press start. Okay, yes.
Dear Esther, I have lost track of how long I have been here, and how many visits I have made overall. Certainly the landmarks are now so familiar to me that I have to remind myself to actually see the forms and shapes in front of me. I could stumble blind across these rocks, the edges of these precipices, without fear of missing my step and plummeting down to sea. Besides, I have always considered that if one is to fall, it is critical to keep one's eyes firmly open.
Oh, I can move. Oh, I'm here. Wow, I didn't even know I could move. Wow, this place is actually stunning. Wow. Am I moving? Here we go. So I'm writing back to my loved one, or something along these lines. You know what I'm like, you're gonna have to deal with me looking around for things. I don't know. I mean, I do know how this game is made, and I know what goes into this game, but I don't know how kind of observant I need to be, if that's... And there's my flashlight. Okay, there's my zoom button. Oh, it feels really nice. Wow. This game is stunning already. Hebridean. Yeah, this is set on the Hebrides, which is a small cluster of islands to the west of Scotland. Actually, northwest. Oh. Is that some sort of quantum design, or is that... I don't know what that is, but it's in like... I don't understand that. Right. Probably going to be of some importance later on. Wow, I like the way this looks. It looks so nice. What's that say? I can't quite read what that says. Can't seem to click anything yet either. Planner. Can't see myself in the mirror. It's probably a good... Oh, what was a bird? Scared me. Really scared me. And I automatically crawled. I feel like this is going to play out more like a movie than a game. It feels already quite linear. I haven't had to do anything particular importance. Right, well, it appears like this guy's done a lot of painting, not just that first room. But interacting with things seems limited now. Let's go up. Must remember that I can come back here and go down though. Oh, this place. I haven't been here, but for some reason I do know quite a lot about the Hebrides. And I've been really anticipating this game for quite a long time now. Been thinking of It's released. I didn't think I was going to be able to survive that. Alright, okay.
Donnelly reported the legend of the hermit, a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
Wow. It's a cave down there. I can't get over those rocks, right? So these are kind of like viewpoints. I assume that I'm going to be able to see important things and work my way towards them. Now, a little bit of history. This was released as a mod. Half-Life 2 mod, a Valve. Oh, it fell down. Great. Oh, no. I didn't hurt myself. And that mast. I know that that's important. I know that that's important. Can I actually walk in? Yeah, I can. Nice. As of yet, I don't know the reasons that I'm on this island, although I do know why I'm on this island. I mean, in the game, it hasn't explained it to me yet. Getting a tiny bit of lag, but I was getting that earlier. Don't think it's going to matter too much. Ah, it's the stairs again.
At night, you can see the lights sometimes from a passing tanker or trawler. From up on the cliffs, they are mundane. But down here, they fugue into ambiguity. For instance, I cannot readily tell if they belong above or below the waves. The distinction now seems banal. Why not everything and all at once? There's nothing better to do here than indulge in contradictions whilst waiting for the fabric of life to unravel.
He's a philosopher, whoever this guy is, that's for sure. Talking about the fabric of life, and he understands the Hebrides. He knows that it's a place for lost souls, that essentially all you do here is consider time and ponder your existence. A lot of people commit suicide on these
hills. A wonderful
hills.
sight. The moon cresting the junction between the cliff path and the stone circle. It cast a shadow of the ridge across the beach, all the world as if you had signed your name in untidy handwriting.
I feel like I've done something wrong already. You know when you start playing the game and you have gone quite far and it's been easy, and that normally means that you've forgotten to pick up the
When someone
torch.
had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boat, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this. Keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Now, we have a decision to make, right or left. The mast is important, but he's immediately pointing me towards the cave, and I have a feeling this is where the cave lies. See, if this were a
We
frictional...
are not
in
like
a minute.
Lot's wife, you and I. We feel no particular need to turn back. There's nothing to be seen if we did. No tired old man parting the cliffs with his arms. No gifts or Bibles laid out on the sand for the taking. No tides turning or the shrieking gulls overhead. The bones of the hermit are no longer laid out for the taking. I have stolen them away to the guts of this island, where the passages all run to black, and where we can light each other's faces by their strange luminescence.
So he talks of this hermit who lived in a cave 170 years ago, something like that. Oh, there's the cave, right. And people used to leave him gifts at the top of the cave. And he was some sort of fictional character from Hebridean
Dear Esther,
history.
I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life. I threw my arms wide and the cliff opened out before me, making this rough home. I transferred my belongings from the bothy on the mount and tried to live here instead. It was cold at night, and the sea lapped at the entrance at high tide. To climb the peak, I must first venture even deeper into the veins of the island. The signals are blocked altogether. Only then will I understand them, when I stand on the summit and they flow into me, uncorrupted.
These look like the gifts that would have been left for the man of the caves, or whatever they would call him. Still no interaction. As I was saying though, if this were amnesia, every single step of the way I'd be looking around trying to find tinder or something. It doesn't feel as intrusive in terms of how much you have to deal with the circumstance, if you know what I mean. Which is actually a really nice thing. It really became a pain in amnesia. Not actually, by the time I ended it, I had a lot of tinder boxes, but just knowing that you have to fill them up and stuff, that I don't know, maybe that added to the suspense, but I'm saying that now, it's still light and we're outside, so we'll see what happens at night time, I guess. Look how beautiful this is. Is it, I don't know, is it just me? I think it's because I'm slightly sympathetic to the people who made it, but this is incredible. And I know how much effort they put into the actual waving of plants to make them look natural and to make the streams look natural. I know how much effort went into this. And it was an inexcusable amount of time and effort that went into this.
He still maintains he wasn't drunk, but tired. I can't make the judgment or the distinction anymore. I was drunk when I landed here, and tired too. I walked up the cliff path in near darkness and camped in the bay where the trawler lies beached. It was only at dawn that I saw the bothy and decided to make my temporary lodgings there. I was expecting just the aerial and a transmitter stashed in a weatherproof box somewhere on the mount. It had an air of uneasy permanence to it. Like all the other buildings here, erosion seems to have evaded it completely.
So he came here, I'm assuming, by seaplane, which are the planes with the hell is that? Oh, absolutely nothing. The hell is this? It reminds me of kind of druids, and again with this painting. Well, we have more selections. Up that way, or down that way. Let's go up here. So, he'll probably tell us in a minute, but he's talking about, was he tired or was he drunk? And this man is trying to find a way to communicate to his wife, who was killed in I believe in a car accident, some sort of motor collision, by a man who was effectively, we can't go up here, right, it's static, who was effectively either drunk or tired, and he doesn't seek revenge. I don't think. He seems quite, I don't know, he seems to have a certain empathy with the man who killed his wife, but why he comes to the Hebrides and what he's searching for, I guess we need to find out. I believe that's the storyline. I have tried not to look into it, although it seems like it would be the kind of thing that I'd love to look into, but I haven't looked too much into it yet because I wanted it to be really quite raw and exciting. Remember, this isn't amnesia. There may not be scares or anything like that. It's more about the story. That means we can't go back up.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
This is actually really quite sad. I always think, what if something happened to one of my loved ones, what I would do? Would I, if that situation, God forbid, ever happened to me, what would I do, kind of thing? It's not important. So I really don't know. That looks very important. Maybe some clues here. But is that why I'm here? Am I here for clues? Am I here to find truths, or this is what I don't know yet? See, I can still see the mast shining way up there. Why the Hebrides? The music's become far more developed. Am I supposed to be getting on this? I don't know if I am. Well, this is extremely old. We can see that. It's got to be 50 years old. So whatever's happening here, surely won't have affected his wife or anything. I think it's the mast. I think we need to go to the mast. It's like the beacon. It's like a signal. Seems important to me. What is that out there? I see something. Flashing. Something flashing. Can you see that? I don't know why I'm asking you, because you can't say yes.
I had kidney stones, and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Wow. So the metaphor is that the island is serving as his kidney stones, and kidney stones are obviously a massive source of pain and discomfort. So he doesn't enjoy being here. But he feels the need to come here. Wow. What is that? It's, in terms of landscape, not dissimilar to Skyrim. I prefer
I'd begun
the
my
look.
ascent on the windless slope of the western side. The setting sun was an inflamed eye squeezing shut against the light shone in by the doctors. My neck is aching through constantly craning my head up to track the light of the aerial. I must look downwards, follow the path under the island to a new beginning.
Oh, this doesn't look very good. Oh, I guess his music's on in the background with Miss Curry. Nice. Right, so clearly someone in there has had some serious trauma. Seems to be some sort of bedpan and syringes and other kind of operation hospital paraphernalia. It's over this side. Is there something here? Not that I can go down there, but another coast, perhaps? Yeah, coast, right. Wow. What's that down there? Something down there. Oh, the music really suits this bit. It's good.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife of his lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
So, the Hebrides obviously shepherding goats, apparently. And Jacobson.
When the oil lamps ran out, I didn't pick up a torch, but used the moonlight to read by. When I've pulled the last shreds of sense from it, I will throw Donnelly's book from the cliffs, and perhaps myself with it. Maybe it will wash back up through the caves and erupt from the spring when the rain comes, making its return to the hermit's cave. Perhaps it will be back on the table when I wake. I think I may have thrown it into the sea several times before.
These are baby scans. These are all scans of babies. This is more modern. Sleeping bag. Ah, and look. On the side of that mug. Whoever's been sleeping here is the guy who's been painting. It's some sort of cellular structure, it's genetics. He's definitely not a creationist then. Oh dear, that looks ominous over there. Oh, seagull. That looks ominous over there. Goodness me. Do not like the look of whatever that is. Let's have a look in this shed quickly, then maybe some further evidence supporting who this man is. Very slow over these rocks. Similar to the other shed, more goat kind of storage. Here we are, right. Let's travel upwards, onwards and upwards, as they say. Well, can I go upwards or not? Apparently not. And so we go downwards. That doesn't seem to be possible. Please don't tell me we have to go in there. This doesn't seem to be the right direction. I'm not sure. Let's keep going round. Yes, an entrance. We found it,
In a
right?
footnote, the editor comments that at this point, Donnelly was going insane as syphilis tore through his system like a drunk driver. He's not to be trusted. Many of his claims are unsubstantiated, and although he does paint a colourful picture, much of what he says may have been derived directly from his fever. But I've been here, and I know, as Donnelly did, that this place is always half imagined. Even the rocks and caves will shimmer and blur with the right eye.
I wonder whether he's talking about Donnelly, who's obviously been here and recorded his journals of some sort of being here and visiting this place, and I wonder whether...
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. All around him, small flowers were reaching for the weak sun. The goats had adjusted happily to life without a shepherd and were grazing freely about the valley. Donnelly reports they hurled the body in fear and disgust down the shaft, but I cannot corroborate this story.
It looks like we have a cave to go into. So there's 2 people. Donnelly, who appears to be a more recent victim of the Hebrides, and Jakobsen, who was this original shepherd who also fell victim to the kind of ghasts of the Hebrides. What I'm going to do for the next video is find...
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end.
Oh no.
The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
A candle that's been lit recently. That means one thing. It means that I'm not alone. And I'm going to leave it there. And for the next episode, I'm going to find out a bit about the Hebrides and about the people who went there and some of the mysteries of the Hebrides, so I can be slightly more informed next time I play this. Thank you so much for joining me. Once again, I'm sorry about the previous videos, and I hope you enjoy this storyline and, of course, all the content that I will later do. This channel will basically be Let's Plays, I think, from now on, and I hope you enjoy that. Thank you for not being too angry with me, and I'll see you next time. Thanks very much, guys. Bye.